We've already looked at using the console log in this section. This is useful for printing out things and debugging during development. It's not intended as a way to communicate with users of our websites or apps. However, there are some ways, or to be more precise, some more methods we can use to communicate with the user. The first of these is an alert. An alert is used to pop up an alert box to the user. Alerts are kind of like a pop-up box with some information and an OK button to click on to close this pop-up. At its most basic, we can simply output something to the user. So let's go over to our script inside of our starter file. So let's go to number 3, alert, prompt and confirm, and now open this up. And I'm going to copy the path and then paste this inside the browser. Or you can simply double click on the index file inside the folder. So down under the alert comment here, we're just going to output a alert pop-up. And then inside of here, we can do anything we want, such as a calculation. So 10, modulus, and then 3. Give that a save. Then open up this index page in the browser, refresh, and there's our alert box on the screen with the value of 1. We can use this to add some text also, instead of a calculation. Remember that text strings have the quotations. So let's say hello, refresh, and there's our text just here. This alert can even contain variables too, such as our name example from before. So we had a variable of name equals Chris. We could go ahead and add this to the end of our string. So hello plus our variable name. Save that. And there we go. So there's hello Chris inside the alert. If we go ahead and add even more text to our alert, so let's add some more text just after this. So let's say, please log in to continue. Save that and reload. By default, all of this stays on the one single line. We can break this onto a new line using a backslash and then an N. So inside of our string here, let's add the backslash and then the N. This backslash followed by an N may look a little unusual, but we'll cover what this is and also some similar ones later when we look at regular expressions. So for now, let's give that a save, reload, and now there's a line break just after this N. The next one I want to show you is prompt. This will pop up and prompt the user for some input. So let's go and comment these two out with the forward slashes. And then go down to this prompt section. Let's begin with a simple prompt, which is the name of prompt, and then the brackets just after. Inside of here, we can add a text string. So hello, what is your name? With a question mark. So index page. And this is how a prompt looks by default. We get the text which we added just here. And then we get an input section where the user can type in some information. This can either be cancelled or click on OK. If we enter our name, such as Chris inside of here, and then press OK, nothing appears to happen. This is because we need a way to store the user's input. We already know we can do this by using a variable. So let's set this prompt to be equal to a variable. So let's say var name equals prompt. And then to see this in action, we can do a console log. And then log the value of our name. So just to recap, we're prompting the user to input their name. We're then storing this input inside of a variable called name, and then displaying this inside the console. So let's save that and try this out. So we say Chris, hit OK, right click and inspect, open up the console, and there's our value of Chris. Let's try one more. Just type in anything inside of here. Okay, and there's the value stored inside this name variable. This prompt either returns the value entered by a user, like we just seen, or we can select cancel. So if we click cancel button here, we then get the value of null returned. You will often come across both null and undefined. They both generally mean something is missing. Both null and undefined are also considered data types too, just like number and string, which you've already seen. So let's go over to our text editor and create an alert. So let's welcome the new user with the text of welcome, a space, add our variable name, and then add a string at the very end with an exclamation mark. If we save that, reload, we can add our name, hit OK, and there's our text string of welcome Chris with the exclamation at the end. If we reload the browser and instead hit cancel, we'll get the words welcome null. Null refers to a blank object reference. It may not make too much sense at the moment because we've not looked at what objects are yet, but it generally means something is missing. So basically, prompt returns either nothing or the value which is typed in. Undefined is a little bit more generic. An example of undefined is when a variable is empty. So if we go ahead and create a new variable, let's say new name, and then we don't set a value to this. If we alert the value of new name, and then save that, refresh, so there's our initial alert. Let's cancel this. And then we get our second alert, which says undefined. And this is the value of our undefined variable here. Next, we're going to take a look at something similar to prompt. So let's comment out these 3 lines here. If you're using Visual Studio Code, command and /, we'll comment out all lines together. So now let's go down to confirm. So just under here, we can take a look at how a confirm is used. Just like the first 2, we type in the name, and then the brackets just afterwards. Let's begin by adding in a text string. So you must be over 16 to enter. And let's say, please confirm. And then over to the browser, close this down from before, reload. And there's the text that we see here. We also have a cancel and an OK button. So let's click on the cancel and also OK. So nothing appears to happen when we click on these buttons. Since confirm has no input field, it will return true if the user clicks OK, or false if the cancel button is selected. We can again see this by setting this to a variable. So let's say var age equals our confirm, then a console log, which passes in our age variable. Then let's check this out. Open up the console. Click on the console tab. So let's reload. So if we click on OK, we'll get the value of true. Then if we click on cancel, we'll get the value of false. This true or false value is also another important JavaScript data type, which is called Boolean. Booleans are simply a true or false value. Once we get these true or false values, we need a way to do something with them. For example, if the user is over 16, we can let them view the page. Or if the user is logged in, we can let them see the admin section. To help decide what to do in these cases, we have conditional statements, and this is what we'll begin to look at next.